GoDaddy.co web address.
So who is this household name and new GoDaddy.co girl?
Is it hot in here? Or is it just me?
See what happens next at GoDaddy.co.
The Honda Grand Prix of St. Petersburg is green. Oh, they're going to try four wide. We have contact and a huge crash right in the first corner. Four cautions in the first 15 laps and one since. And for Dario Franchitti, he's had pretty much clear sailing because it's always been happening behind him. As you can see, his lead over Will Power is now 7.6 seconds. Tony Kanaan is third. Simona Di Silvestro is fourth, and a great run, and Takuma Sato rounds out the top five. A total of 12 cars on the lead lap, and you just heard 15 laps to go as he goes past Anna Beatrice. One more time, puts her another lap down. She is in 14th.
Tony, 15 to go, buddy. 15 to go.
There is second, third, and fourth, and we have confirmed this because it still shows Simona with 20 push-to-passes left. That's what they give you at the start of the race. She has not used a single one.
Well, it's amazing because that push-to-pass, that the Honda Overtake Assist system that's on board of all the cars, you allow 20 pushes of the button. It gives you 10 more horsepower, a couple hundred more RPM, and it lasts for 12 seconds. Drivers usually like to push it coming into the last turn, so you get that boost going all the way down the main straightaway. But maybe she's got a problem with the system, or maybe she just flat forgot that she's got it.
She's focused, that's one thing, on that car right in front of her. This is second, third, and fourth place. Our best battle on the racetrack. And the laps continue to wind down, 15 to go.
Now we can see that she has 20 left. Her team also can see that she has 20 of the Honda Overtake Assist push to pass left, so they should be telling her, hey, don't forget that you have this button.
Great job, Sim. Great job. You're coming to some lap cars here in the next 2 laps. Be prepared. Focus.
Vince, you've got more on Simona?
I think it's an indication of how good her car is running, guys, that they have not had to use the push to pass. I just confirmed with Vince Kramer, the team manager, it does work. He said she just doesn't feel like she needs it right now. So I'd expect her to use a few of them here in these final 15 laps.
Doing an excellent job here in the season opener in the streets of St. Petersburg.
Now it's ironic that she's trying to chase down Tony Kanaan, and her engineer that she had last year and for the test at Barber Motorsport Park just a little while ago picked up and left on Monday of this week to go over to Tony, so maybe a little bit more incentive for her to be able to get past Tony just directly in front of her.
Right in front of her is Tony Kanaan and that number 82 Geico machine. Rick, what are you hearing?
Well, let's talk about Tony's strategy for holding off Simona. The team feels that one of the reasons Simona's been able to gain is because she went to those red, the alternate tires with a softer compound, which gave her that ability to move up. Tony's on the black tires. Now, the advantage of the black tires, they're more consistent over the long run. Those red tires give a bigger advantage early on. What they're hoping is over the next few laps that advantage that Simona had been seeing with the lap times is going to fade away. And as a result of the consistency of those black tires, Blackwell tires, they'll be able to continue to pull away. But they were making the point they needed to have it happen soon because she was gaining pretty fast.
Well, and you just saw Tony do a brilliant move of diving on the inside of James Jake just into turn 1, gave himself some space between himself and Simona, and Simona did a nice job. She didn't push the issue. She went in there cleanly, and she got through cleanly. She's got a little space to make up now to be able to get back onto the tail end of the Geico machine of Tony Kanaan.
While all this is going on, we'll tell you Dario Franchitti, his lead is still at 7.4 seconds. Power, Kanaan, Di Silvestro in that battle for second through fourth. There you see our race leader going through. And then it is a big drop to 5th place. 22 seconds back is Takuma Sato. Alex Tagliani 6th, Rafa Matos in 7th, Vitor Mira 8th, Servia and Justin Wilson round out the top 10.
And this is going to be very interesting to see if Will Power can get her around Anna Beatrice going into 4. He does. I got to suspect as she sees him coming in the mirror, hopefully she leaves enough space for Simona to get through also, so Simona doesn't get hung up again going past the back traffic. There's willpower, being able to stretch it just a little bit over Tony Kanaan. You see Tony Kanaan coming into your frame. And then Simona keeps about the same spacing, maybe lost just a little bit. She's not had the timing of traffic on her side so far. There again, she will look to go ahead.
We talked about Tony pushing real hard. He's getting a little loose.
Oh, applying the power. He just gasses it, puts his foot on the Honda power plant. Number 650 horsepower.
And then keep an eye on the wheel of Will Power's car.
Up over the curbing, actually running over a piece. Possibly that's the piece coming off that we talked about before, which is a side pod extension. Looks like, yes, it's finally broken off. We talked about that earlier in the show. Lucky for him, it went up and over, did not get lodged in there and actually put a puncture into the tire.
Should not have a major effect on his aerodynamics, should it?
It won't at this particular track. Nope, certainly not. Matter of fact, I'm sure he probably doesn't even know it's missing. And as a driver, even if there's something askew on the car, your job is to look forward and just keep on pushing, hitting your marks, and driving it to 10/10ths.
Down that long Bayshore drive to the left-hander here at turn 10. And then that oh so treacherous turn 11, where you can see the black tire marks from where Sebastian Bourdais tagged it this morning.
Dario Franchitti also, it's 140 miles an hour through there and getting slowed down to the last turn for about 50 miles an hour. This is a neat section.
Tony, 10 laps to go.
Along the Albert Wooded runway, and at 160 miles an hour, Marty going into turn 1.
And from high above, you can see that there is Simona closing in. Now, as we get ready to go with 10 laps to go, our ticker on top with the complete rundown of everybody, presented by Sunoco. Simona has done such a good job, and you're right, she really has a better comfort level with the reds, the alternate tires.
Car works better for her. We saw her pace fall off a little bit with the black tires on, as we documented, but right now she really needs to start working that push to pass. She's now used it twice, but she really needs to push it so she can get close to Tony, so when Tony has a moment where the back end of the car starts to slide around, she can take advantage of that. I think Tony's slowed up his pace a little bit. Will seems to be stretching it away. And for Simona, she seems to be about a couple of tenths of a second faster than Tony. Obviously, Tony has years and years of experience. He knows what he needs to do.
Good job, Tim. Good job.
9 laps to go now. The lead is down to 6.8 seconds, but I have a feeling it's more Dario Franchitti. Whoa, as you see Tony light him up going into 1.
Right, and that's what I was talking about. Get close, put more pressure on him. His tires are probably not got as much grip as hers do. Just keep continuing to pressure him, to pressure him, to pressure him.
We're mentioning the lead is down to 6.8 seconds. I was getting ready to say it's more, I think, just Dario Franchitti knowing he's got a comfort level, not trying to do anything that would be crazy and put him out of this race.
Well, as the leader, you'll start to leave yourself a little bit more room on the turns going in.
Only high percentage.
And also on the exit of the turns, you won't be so aggressive picking up the throttle, also into the braking zones, leaving yourself a few more inches so you don't have any problems close to the wall.
Let's drop back a little farther in the field, pick up the battle for 9th with Oriol Servia and Justin Wilson. There is Servia in the 0-2. Justin right up behind him. A little bit further back, that is the 9 of Scott Dixon. Dixon is 4 laps down. He was in that first lap melee. He's in 16th position.
And Marty, that's a tough program to do when you are that far back and you really know that you're not going to make up any space. You go out there actually almost just pacing off laps. For Dixon, very difficult. Oh, something's happened to Will Power. He's slowed down there a fair amount. For Tony, actually, it's a passing car of E.J. Viso.
So there's Power. That is E.J. Viso, the 59, and yeah, it is a bit deceptive. Look at it there. You can see Tony's car, similarly paint scheme. Best way to look at it is on the wing plate, where you see Geico and Herbalife.
Now what happens here, does E.J. make the pass easy for Tony and maybe a little bit more difficult for Simona? Let's see what happens here. The team would have told him that your teammate's coming up from behind. E.J. should just go to one side or the other, get off the throttle, going down the straightaway, should let these guys go through and race. But he's driving hard enough now, it looks like it's going to mess up Simona going into the turn. Yep, she's got to run a tighter line. A little bit more difficult. Now she goes wide. That's just got to anger her so much. And you know
You're
something?
all right.